Educational Foundation has 32 communities where we provide, education to where we solve their education needs. So this happened, the first case was in one of our communities where in that particular community we had, in the past 2 years, enrolled 6 children into school. We had 2 male and of course 4 females. So at the beginning of this year, 2024, we went back to have an assessment, to have to look at the children, visit them, visit the schools, and renew the school fees and all of that, the tuitions and all that. And then at first we were stopped at the entrance of the community by armed men. Oh, you can't enter here. There's an exercise going on. Only then did we discover that a large-scale demolition was going on in the community. To cut the long story short, we had to contact our partners who were there, the local community member, the chief, in particular, and then he spoke with the uniformed men, and we were allowed access. To our amazement, that community, which had 17 schools before now, was only left with just 1 school. Over 2,000 buildings were already brought down. Primary healthcare centers inclusive, 17 schools, 16 out of the 17 were already gone. So in that community, which was a bubbling community before now, which was a great place before now, only had just 1 school standing. I'm talking about a large community where you have, there was everything. They had 3 transformers to tell you how large it is, right? So we were shocked as to how will a demolition exercise occur in this large scale without the presence of the media, without the presence of, the demolition bodies following the due process, which is relocation or resettlement, right? So we now had to start to ask, community members, our stakeholders who were there, the king and of course the chief, and even passerbys and owners of private schools, were you served an eviction notice? A lot of them, of course, on the part of the government, yes, they did that, but some of them still remain there, right? But when the time for the execution came, the main execution, time. How long duration? When was the duration? And they told them that they came the first day, they marked, the next day was execution. Now, we are not, as a body, the Begotten Educational Foundation, of course, as patriotic citizens, we are not, standing in lines of development. We are not standing in lines of, government expanding, cities and of course, developing infrastructures. However, we are appalled. We are concerned. We are deeply concerned that the collateral damages in this particular case of, demolition are not being factored into the plan, are nowhere in the equation. Because originally, according to the plan, if you be demolishing settlements such as that, large-scale settlements, right? There is something called resettlement, where you resettle these individuals. They are human beings. They are not animals. They're not trees or goats. These are human beings.
But I want to ask you, did you guys reach out to the authorities to know what the resettlement plan was for?
Of course. That's why I can categorically say that there was no plan for education, right? To say, okay, this community already has or is currently having 17 schools. Hey, Mr. Chief, Mrs. Market Woman, Oga, school owner, come. Parents, come. We are going to demolish this place because this is an illegal settlement, which of course was an illegal settlement. However, because these people still enjoy fundamental human rights, they have the right to learning, right, to information and all of that. Education is a fundamental human right. Okay, we're going to demolish this settlement. However, we've been able to build a replica of this school somewhere else, or even half the amount of this structure somewhere else. So move your kids to this place so that a large-scale demolition can occur. Nothing of such happened.